An incredible night of SummerSlam. Night number 1 is now in the books from US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as we welcome you to the SummerSlam Post Show, presented by Crypto.com. Joe Tessitore alongside Big E, Corey Graves, and Peter Rosenberg on the heels of Obafemi's victory over Brock Lesnar, where he survived a tombstone pile driver before delivering a fall from grace. But in the end, the passing of the torch. Big E, here's how it went down.
This match was physical. I think it was everything that we really wanted to see. I love this ode to Undertaker. We talk about Brock Lesnar being 2-0 at Hell in a Cell against Undertaker, but it wasn't enough to pin Obafemi.
It had quite the opposite effect in that the ruler would rise to his feet, punch the steel chair out of the Beast's hands, and here comes the second fall from grace suffered by Lesnar, perhaps the last one Brock will ever suffer in his career. What a match, what a main event, as advertised, as expected, 2 heavy hitters delivered.
And then, of course, after the match, the ultimate surprise. Guys, that was not on my bingo card. No handshake for Brock, the hug with Oba.
And then afterwards, Jackie Redmond caught up with the winner, the ruler, Obafemi.
Can you describe what you're feeling?
I don't know how I survived either, but the truth is this. The future is not far away. The future is now, and the future is me.
Were you surprised to hear Brock Lesnar describe you that way, to come over and forego the handshake and give you a hug? I mean, what can you say about that moment?
The hug and the public endorsement was definitely a swerve. I did not see that coming. But I knew that deep down, Brock has always respected me. And he knows that deep down, I respect him as well.
This is my last one. Do you consider this a career-defining, a legacy-defining moment for you, even though you're just getting started?
This moment means everything to me. All my hard work, all my dedication, all my years in Nigeria, all my years throwing the shot put, all my years fighting, every single thing has led up to this moment. Destiny has been kind to me. She will never forget me. She will always forgive me. She remembers her son. Obafemi!
Congratulations, you just did something nobody in the history of this business has ever done, defeating Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. Congratulations, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now 2 wins over Brock Lesnar this year for Obafemi as we continue on here in the SummerSlam Post Show presented by Crypto.com. Let's get a little traffic out of the way here. Obviously, we're going to go through everything that happened here on Saturday night, SummerSlam day number 1, including getting into CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. And the undisputed WWE Champion will join us. CM Punk will be live here on the set of our SummerSlam Post Show. We will also have Gunther here on set, as well as Liv Morgan. We will hear from Triple H, his press conference following SummerSlam night number 1. But let's get into the headline here. Hell in a Cell and the physicality of this match between Suplex City, going through a table, the steel steps being used as a weapon, the multiple F5s, the tombstone pile driver, and the fall from grace.
We could talk about Oba's power, his strength, but I think what really stood out for me was his resilience. His ability to take an F5, to stand up, to take another F5, stand up again. We haven't seen anything like that.
I'd say more than we have not seen anything like that. Brock Lesnar has never encountered anybody with the will, the guts, the determination of the ruler. Take another look at this. This tombstone on the exposed wood underneath the ring. Still not enough to keep the King of the Ring down.
Just to be clear also, we were talking about how amazing Brock looks. This is no fading Brock Lesnar.
No.
Brock Lesnar looks as good. Listen, I have no idea what he's going to decide to do with his future. He's never physically looked better, and yet still you see Obafemi, the fall from grace, to put away the beast.
I think when you go back to WrestleMania, there was part of Brock Lesnar who might have thought it was a fluke. I got caught. Every great fighter, every great combat athlete has those fights where you think you have a game plan and you just get caught. And I think that was what was going through Lesnar's mind. It probably reinforced that thought at Clash in Italy when Brock dispatched of the ruler relatively easily with 7 F5s.
No one knew how this was going to play out. We got a definitive answer as to what the future looks like.
See, I would argue that it was not relatively easy. They were 1-1 coming into this, but each of those matches looked very different. One was Oba kind of running through Brock. The other was Oba having to kick out, having to fight, showing a lot of grit, and Brock having to drop every single bomb he had to get there.
And that's just one of the headlines we're digging into here on the SummerSlam post show, as we have just learned that Obafemi will come here to the set. He wants to continue the conversation, so Obafemi will come here and be live on the post show. Now, let's get to the undisputed WWE Championship match, because this was really shaping up into an all-time classic before we had a shocking return.
This was a wrestling purist's dream. Two of the best in the game competing for the undisputed WWE Championship. Both superstars landed their heaviest artillery, but to the shock of the entire WWE Universe, the Viper would return. Randy Orton taking out Cody Rhodes with an RKO, completely unbeknownst, might I add, to CM Punk at the time. But Punk, the veteran, would have been remiss to not capitalize on the opportunity presented, delivering a go to sleep. 3 seconds later, a successful retention for the undisputed champ.
Randy Orton looking a lot like the last time we saw Randy Orton, and that is beating on Cody Rhodes.
And remember, the last time we saw him was at WrestleMania, losing to Cody Rhodes for that World Championship, but leaving Cody laying. That's the very last time we saw Randy Orton. We wondered, when is he going to return? And boy, does he.
By the way, earlier today when we were on the countdown to SummerSlam, we were live with CM Punk. He said, hey, this is my 20th anniversary. He came out very old school in the old satin starter jacket that had 20 on the back, that was also in the original old school 1980s Norris division, Minnesota North Stars color, with his logo in the old North Stars form of the logo. So classic CM Punk, and it was that kind of old school match, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This was, I've been talking about this all week. 5 years ago, you could never imagine we'd get to see CM Punk and Cody Rhodes in a WWE ring in a championship match. Not only do we get it, and there's the beautiful North Stars homage you were talking about, not only do we get it, but guys, they both looked absolutely at their best. You said this was a fan's dream match. That is what they delivered throughout.
And I'll do you one better. It was more than a dream match for just our fans. I think to both of the competitors, there was a level of that dream match feeling. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, so much history throughout their careers. They've spent time together. They've traveled the world together. They've come to WWE. They've left WWE. They've returned. So many parallels between these two world-class wrestlers. And the opportunity on a stage of this magnitude, like SummerSlam, to step out there, defend your gold for Punk, to challenge if you're Cody Rhodes. This is what you live for. This is what guys wake up for every day.
And I think the entrance, the minimalist feel of the entrance as well, speaks to his mindset. This was just about being the very best. No frills, no nonsense. Let's come out and perform at our very highest, and I think that's exactly what's.
And I like, in the Countdown show, we speculated, would this be even Steven? Would it be clean? Was someone gonna break some rules? Was someone gonna gouge an eye? If it called for it, who was willing to take that extra step? It wasn't necessary. Randy Orton, of course, played spoiler to what was unfolding as an instant classic, but Rhodes and Punk simply gave it their best. They competed at the highest possible level in sports entertainment for the richest prize. That's what this game's all about, guys.
And again, CM Punk is going to be out here in just moments to join us to discuss everything that happened in this undisputed championship match. But let's get to the Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan and Io Sky. There was a level of physicality to this that was jaw-dropping.
As we relive the highlights of this successful championship defense, gentlemen, all three of you had better start preparing your apologies for overlooking and counting against Liv Morgan. Everybody and their mother was on the Io Sky bullet train. Io is going to be the queen of the ring. Io is going to be the next world champion. But Liv Morgan showed the world undeniably that she is who she says she is, the greatest women's world champion of
You're going to get us, you know what?
all time.
You're going to get us in trouble.
Hey, do you remember what happened last time?
Hey, Minneapolis, please welcome the Women's World Champions. A successful defense tonight at SummerSlam for Liv Morgan. Liv, congratulations.
Thank you.
Liv, speaking as the only person in the WWE Universe who gave you a fighting chance because I believe in you and I know who you truly are and what you're capable of, I think this is a perfect time for Big E, Rosenberg, and Joe Tess to apologize to you.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they should do it too.
It's okay. It's okay. You guys can apologize for doubting me. Because I proved you guys all wrong. You wanted Io Sky to win? Ha! Ah! I am the greatest women's
Already.
world champion of
Keep it going, keep it going. Come on, come on.
time. And now, E, you can say it. Rosenberg, you can say it. Joe, you can say it, please. Thank you very much.
Liv, massive congratulations to you. I did see a tweet that said that ESPN did you dirty when they put on the lower third that the first 100 days of your reign, you had 0 title defenses.
Iconic! Iconic! You don't need to defend your title when you're as iconic as me. But do you know what else? Do you know what else? I'm happy that you brought that up. Who was challenging me? Who was stepping up to challenge me? No one. These girls are scared of me. They're not dumb. They're not dumb, but they're scared.
Liv, do you ever think that maybe the antics, the yelling, screaming, I'm the greatest world champion of all time, do you ever think in any way that makes people overlook just how great you actually
When
are?
have I ever said something that was not the truth? I don't lie. I don't lie.
I'm not saying
so
it's a
if
lie.
The way that I say it is not okay for everyone to accept it, I don't care. But you know what else? Look at my shiner.
Yeah, I
Do you
just
see
noticed that.
Oh,
How would you characterize the physicality of that match? That seemed like a grueling physical match. How would you characterize that match?
Yeah, you know, I will give it to my opponent, Io Sky. She is one of the best in the very world. She really put me through tonight. She almost had me. But she is no Liv Morgan. I ate that.
While we're congratulating you, Liv, we should also throw a few congratulations to your Judgment Day stablemate, Raquel Rodriguez.
There it is.
New Intercontinental Champion, the greatest women's Intercontinental Champion of
All time!
Shout out to Big Sexy and Roxanne. Roxy, you're gonna win something.
Liv, you are very much known for your fashions. You're wearing a shirt that I think is interesting. Is there any
let me
reason
get a look at
for
that.
this?
You guys know what this is? I know you guys know what this is. You guys know what this is? It is the 2-year anniversary of when I beat and embarrassed and took everything from Rhea Ripley. So I thought it was fitting because this is like Io's bestie, right? So I thought it was very
Yeah,
fitting to wear
it
today.
is. And
Shout out
tomorrow
to
we
Rhea.
will
I
have
hope
an
you're feeling
interim
well.
women's champion with a ladder match with Rhea out injured, hopeful to come back soon. Liv, congratulations. That was well earned.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We're going to continue on here on the SummerSlam post show.
hope you guys
Liv
enjoy
Morgan,
it.
the women's world champion, retains tonight with the defense, the victory against Io Sky.
Apologize.
We'll take a short break and come right back. Remember, CM Punk's going to be here live.
I'm the greatest. I'm so sorry. I hate to admit it, but I cannot tell a lie. The greatest women's world champion of all time.
You're the American war hero.
Boom.
I've been tasked with finding the greatest fighters on Earth.
Are you ready for street fighting? Where is my true opponent? Hadouken! Street Fighter, only theaters October 16, rated PG-13.
One of the most intriguing matches of night one was Nick Aldis, who relinquished his GM duties for the weekend because Gunther pushed him too far.
First of all, I want to know how much money was paid to Oasis to come out. Well, what an entrance for Nick Aldis. And man, he has been someone who's been on the shelf as an active wrestler for quite some time, but it's like he never lost his
And
step.
I got to tell you guys, I said before, this was the match I was most hyped for. I'll admit it, not the result I was hoping to see, but Graves, you've got to be impressed. To be off as long as he's been, all this looked incredible.
This may sound a bit uncharacteristic coming from me because I ordinarily don't believe in moral victories, but I would say that that's exactly what Nick Aldis achieved tonight. I don't think too many people gave Nick a chance, but he held up his end of the deal very, very well.
Let's go backstage to Kathy Kelly.
Thanks so much, Joe. Now I am here with Nick Aldis, and Nick, hell of a match. I know it's not the outcome that you were hoping for, but a resounding chant from the WWE Universe. You still got it, and you had that incredible moment with your family, your beautiful wife, your son Donovan. How are you feeling? I know you took that moment in, looked up at the crowd, a lot probably going through your mind.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, it's been a whirlwind of emotions the last few weeks because obviously at the well, I've been better, but I'm actually glad that you're here because I have something for you. When I first reached out to you about coming to WWE, I told you that I was willing to contribute in however way you saw fit. You asked me to be the GM of SmackDown, and I've poured my heart and soul into that job for the last 3 years. But I'm a man of my word, and in order to try to prove myself in the ring with Gunther, I had to be willing to give that up and relinquish that position. And I came up short. I did what I had to do. But that's my letter of resignation. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve you as the GM, and thank you for every opportunity.
It's your letter of resignation? Let me just say this. I appreciate this. I appreciate how much you're a man of your word. I also appreciate that you're a man. Gunther crossed the line. You crossed the line. But we settled it the way we do in WWE. You got in the ring and you fought for what you believed in. Doesn't matter the outcome. Matters that you fought. You're a hell of a man, Nick Aldis. I'm proud of you. Proud of what you did. I'm proud of what you accomplished. Proud of everything you did tonight. But as for this letter of resignation, well, I believe in what you did. You're reinstated as a general manager of SmackDown. Lay off of Gunther, call things down the middle, and let's get back to work.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
So I guess I'll be seeing you Friday.
I guess I'll see you Friday. Back in business, Kathy.
Yep. Let's send it back out to the panel.
All right, so there's the news. Put the suit back on. Nick Aldis returns as general manager of SmackDown. As we continue here on the Crypto.com SummerSlam post-show, Joe Tessitore and the crew with you as a massive crowd has filtered out of US Bank Stadium, and now the ring general Gunther has joined us here. Gunther, congratulations.
Well done, sir.
So we just heard, and Gunther, listen, we want to talk to you about the match itself and where you stand right now in your career, but I want your reaction to the news that we literally just heard as Nick Aldis is now reinstated as the general manager of SmackDown. Your reaction to that, how that affects things moving forward with your situation.
Well, after everything's said and done tonight, that was harder for me than I expected. When he took his jacket off in the ring, I was impressed. I admit that. But at the end of the day, come on, he was in the ring with me. Like, who expected a fairy tale ending here? Like, come on. It's a bit naive. So now, obviously, I just saw what happened between Nick and Hunter. Sure, put on the drama a little bit. I have one thing to say to Nick. Get back to your job. Make me the #1 contender, because I'm not afraid of CM Punk, because I know that I'm better than him.
Gunther, is there any added pleasure beating Nick Aldis in front of his family?
Of course. If I can rub it in a little bit more, that's always the best scenario. And I mean, it's kind of like his fault. He brought his family here today. Like, what
did he think was going to happen?
What did he expect?
You have really made a living the last year of just beating down people's dreams.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee, AJ Styles. You retired John Cena. You retire AJ. Retire Goldberg. Now you seemingly crushed any sort of wrestling dreams left for Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
Do you get more joy from crushing people's dreams or putting gold around your waist?
Both at the same time, ideally. But that's the business I'm in. I create hope, and I take it away whenever I want to. And that's what I get paid for. Best job in the world. I love it.
Gunther, you have said that it's you who deserves to have been fighting for the championship this weekend. You mentioned CM Punk right away. What did you make of CM Punk's victory tonight in his championship match?
To be honest, to me, it didn't really make a difference who's going to win that one tonight. I know I'm better than both of them. Yes, I had my things with Cody. Controversial endings. CM Punk last year at SummerSlam, we move on from that. But deep down, I know, all of you know, and even these idiots know, that I'm the better man.
So Gunther, if you could, give us a glimpse into the future. If you do receive the opportunity that I personally believe you very much deserve to become #1 contender to the undisputed WWE Championship, let's say you do knock off the best in the world, CM Punk. What does SmackDown and WWE as a whole look like with the ring general once again at the top of the mountain?
A lot of fun for me. Maybe not so much for everybody else.
He's a pro's pro, Biggie. You gotta love that.
Came out the winner tonight. Congratulations to Gunther. By the way, we thought you'd enjoy hearing things by way of the international broadcast. Gunther the victor tonight over Nick Aldis, who has been reinstated as SmackDown General Manager.
இந்த வாய்ப்பு ஏங்க சான்ஸ் ராபின்சன் இருக்காரு விட்டுறாதீங்க அவரை ஐயோ அவருக்கு தான் விழுந்துச்சா சான்ஸ் ராபின்சனுக்கு தாங்க அடி விழுந்திருக்குது iniziamo a chiudere la go to sleep perché non passa c'è la cross Roz
con CM Punk che comunque ruzzola all'esterno del ring.
Jordan babalik pagkatapos ng kanilang laban sa WrestleMania RKO Sar vai para Jen Sar RKO Mariusz go gorąca na barkach jest kolejny GTS po czymś takim już się nie podniesiesz powolne liczenie Charlesa Robinssona ale do celu CM Punk Hard Touch vs WWE Champion.
There is one universal language when it comes to sports entertainment, simply saying CM Punk. Punk, take a seat. Well worn. Left leg took some damage. You fought to the very end. You retained your championship. How would you characterize everything that happened inside U.S. Bank Stadium tonight?
It felt like I was in a war. I noticed after I won during some replays. I love you guys, by the way. "20 years ago to this day, I made my debut on television in this company. It has been a long, crazy road with the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, but you've always been there, and you carry me to these moments like tonight. I appreciate you. I love each and every single one of you. Thank you."
Punk, you closed many a show here in WWE. You didn't close the show here tonight. Did you have any feelings when you found out that you would not be the main event?
Of course I had feelings about that, but I'm not one of these guys that has it in their contract that I have to end the show. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's a main event, and there's the match that goes last, right? It ain't for me to decide. I'm too old for that. I'm just gonna lace my boots up and beat somebody's ass. That's all I know. Whether I'm first, whether I'm before intermission, whether I'm the popcorn match, I'm semi-main, main, CM Punk is always the main event.
Punk, to that point, moments ago, we had the ring general Gunther join us on here, and it's no secret that Gunther has his sights set on this.
Yes, good.
If everything unfolds according to the way it seems right now, Gunther could be the next obstacle in your path. What does that look like for CM Punk?
I'm the belle of the ball. I got a target on my back, and I got the gold around my waist. There's a reason I call myself the best in the world. Everybody wants to be that. I am that. So come and get it. Come and get it, Gunther. Randy, I'm not stoked what Randy did. Randy's a snake. Randy wants some, he can come to get some. His dad, Bob, can get some. You know, Randy's mom wants some, I'll slap her too. I don't really care.
We do have a #1 contender.
Yeah, Trick Williams, whoop that trick, I'll give some to him too. CM Punk is here, I am a target, and I welcome every single archer who wants to shoot a bow and arrow at me. Bring it on. I'm not hiding on an island. I'm not hiding in a bubble. I am not a pussy. Let's go.
There's an extra something with you tonight. What's the extra? Is it the 20 years? Is it
the extra something? Is yes, 20 years. I am champion. It's gratitude and it's love. I am still here. They are still here. They're still with me. They're still behind me, and with them behind me, with this around my waist, I can do anything I want.
Yes, you can. You've proven that. I must ask you, if we're talking about who's next, we do have a #1 contenders match tomorrow, so we'll be talking about that all day tomorrow. But your thoughts on Sami Zayn and Finn Balor?
Oh boy. Hey, listen, I just wrestled a friend of mine, Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
Finn Balor is somebody who I consider a friend. Sami Zayn, not so much. As much as I would like Finn to progress, I don't know if I want to wrestle a friend again when I could punch Sami Zayn in his stupid loud mouth. He wants to say all these things, all these cool buzzwords. Oh, I'm a hypocrite. I'm a fraud. Brother, you're following in my footsteps, echoing the same things that I sat down cross-legged on a stage in Las Vegas 15 years ago to open up doors for little jerks like you. And I did it, and I paved the way. And if you won't show me some respect, I will beat it out of you.
Punk is ripping tonight. I told you there's extra.
May the
Punk
best
is ripping
man
tonight.
win. Okay, I don't care who wins that match tomorrow. Man, I'll see him Friday in Philly. I'll wrestle. I'll go to Raw and wrestle. They need the ratings boost. Let's go.
Seeing as how the ending of tonight went a little controversially with Randy Orton being involved, Cody is your friend. You guys were honest with one another. You were up front before tonight's matchup, kept it relatively clean. What are the odds Cody gets another crack at that thing?
I think the odds are very good. Obviously, he deserves one. We saw the RKO. We saw the ref down. I didn't see, like, run it back. I don't care. Do you want to see it again? They're the boss. I know Triple H is the COO or whatever he is, but ladies and gentlemen, this is my boss right here. These are the people I listen to. Who gets the title shot? Who wants it? Hey, give me names. You somebody from AAA? Mini Vikingo? Dominic?
Grayson loved that.
How about Grayson Waller? How about somebody from TNA? Huh? Where's Eric Cannon at?
He's down the street.
Oba? You want Oba? I want Oba. Listen, Oba Femi, without a doubt, is the future. That does not mean that I am not the present. And be careful what you try to open underneath the Christmas tree. You may not like what you get. Oba is fantastic. My experience trumps his ability. Oba hasn't picked what champion he wants to go after. If he wants to wallow in obscurity, go after Roman. If you want to live under the bright lights, come after the real champ.
We will see what direction the King of the Ring goes in, but here's what we know. We opened up a present today at US Bank Stadium, and it came in the form of CM Punk. Congratulations, Punk, retaining the undisputed WWE Championship. Oba Femi's going to be live on the set soon enough, plus we'll hear from Triple H. A short break here on the post-show for SummerSlam, brought to you by Crypto.com. CM Punk holding gold.
People doubted me all the way, telling me I was all hype. They just mad that I'm him and they gotta deal with it. If you don't like it, you can.
One of the things that makes me most proud is I did things Lando's way.
I don't need everyone out there to like me. I like being different.
You are world champion.
Glad you're with us here on the SummerSlam Post Show. What a scene. A massive crowd here for the SummerSlam Post Show presented by Crypto.com, the world's leading cryptocurrency platform, celebrating their 10-year anniversary. This was an incredible night one of SummerSlam. CM Punk defeats Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton returns. Oba Femi wins Hell in a Cell over Brock Lesnar. And right now, let's hear from Paul Levesque.
How are you guys doing? Great to be here. I want to take a second here to thank Minnesota Sports and Events, especially Wendy Blackshaw at Minnesota Sports and Events for just doing an epic job on getting us here. I want to thank the Vikings and especially US Bank Stadium. Been here for a bit, night one in the books, but it's been an incredible partnership so far. They've really done an extraordinary job of everything it took to get us here. And I want to also say a special thank you to Senator Jeremy Miller, who was really responsible for us overall getting here. This event, an event like this, epic event of us coming in here for 2 nights and sort of doing what we do and the economic impact that comes with it doesn't happen without these people and their team. So a huge thank you to them. But I'm going to get right to it at that point and just open it up to you for questions.
Rick Ucchino with WWE Radio and The Takedown on Sports Illustrated. A lot of great moments tonight from Randy to Oba and Brock, but arguably I think the best moment of the night was Nick Aldis celebrating his first match in 3 years. Obviously that's a big task for somebody who hasn't wrestled in 3 years to come into an arena on SummerSlam and have that kind of a moment. We saw a few moments ago you reinstated him to the SmackDown general manager. But I was curious, what were your thoughts on his performance tonight, and is it possible that he gets another opportunity down the road?
Yeah, look, I think Nick said it when we were back there talking. When we first spoke about this, he was open to whatever opportunity there was to come to WWE. It was his dream job. And the GM role was what we had. He was thrilled to take it, and he's never really questioned it in any way about stepping into the ring or anything else that comes with it. But as a competitor, I know that desire never dies, right? No matter where you are and how far removed from it you are. I know every week when he's in those arenas, and I know every week or month or whatever it is when he's in a stadium, he's thinking, man, I remember this. Opportunity arose for him to step into the ring. And it was on short notice. There's a thing in our business about always stay ready, right? It was on short notice, but here he is. He looked like $1 million. Went out there and performed like $1 million. Had the crowd behind him. A couple weeks ago we were talking about music, and he was like, I said, give me your fantasy. What's the biggest fantasy? He said, was like, what about Oasis? I was like, maybe no, but like, let's see. And meanwhile, let's work on something else. And then I was thrilled a few days ago to tell him, like, Oasis is in, dude. We're doing it. Right before he walked out there tonight, and then again when he got back, I said, like, that's not a bad moment, right? Like, stadium, 35,000 plus people, whatever it is, right? Like, to have that moment out of nowhere, to crush it, have crowd chant your name, to have your wife, your son there, your family there, to have them be able to get in the ring with you when it was all said and done, which was totally just an ad lib, wasn't planned, wasn't anything. It's a pretty cool moment. I have to admit I was pretty emotional watching it happen for him, knowing him as a human being. And I was really excited for him. And as far as, so incredibly proud of him and what he accomplished tonight, and Gunther as well. But as far as will it happen again, never say never, right? I would have never said never about him being in there tonight, and here we are. So let's see. Let's see where it goes. You put on performances like that, it certainly doesn't make people not want to see you, so we'll see where it goes.
Obviously, the biggest match of the night, main event being Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. Seeing him pull back the ring, opening the wood of the ring. Is this the last we're going to see of Brock Lesnar for a while, or do you see a lot left in that tank?
I don't know. I mean, you saw Brock in whatever way he did it, retire a few months ago, so to speak, and then kind of come back and do this. But is for Brock to walk back to the ring, to bring Oba back in there with him, to put him over verbally and physically as this is the future of the business, right? This is the today, this is the now, this is the future, and I'm the past. That's a pretty bold statement. Brock doesn't just say things. Without reading into it any more than that, I am the past, is what he said. But you know as well as I do, Brock does what Brock wants to do. So I would take what he said at face value, and let's see. But the one thing I do know is he put on an incredible performance tonight, and a new star is born, right, with Obafemi. And Brock is right. He is the future of this business. And, one thing I'll say about Brock, and Brock does not get the credit for being, I feel like, for being as good as he is. Because he's not your prototypical pro wrestler, right? So he's not looked at, when you talk about the greats technically in the business, I would put him up there as one of the best of all time. Psychology-wise, in-ring performance-wise, he did it in a completely unique way that was all Brock Lesnar, in a believable way. Sometimes when you saw him in there doing what Brock would do, you would think, like, well, is he off script now? Is he, or, you know what I mean? Like, is he brought a realism, and he brought a uniqueness. He brought a bit of that UFC to WWE, and it was awesome to watch. And I've watched him from the day he walked in the door all the way to now, and it's been incredible. And he's one of the best psychology-wise, game day gut guys I've ever seen. He's an incredible, incredible, incredible performer. And when he wants to do what he did over the last few months with somebody like Oba, that's a bold statement, and it's a big one. And again, you heard him say it, Obafemi is the future.
Emily May with Heart Punch Media. There was a lot of commentary about the Women's World Championship title defense match between Liv Morgan and Io Sky opening SummerSlam Night 1. And many fans thought that it was going to be a different match to start off the night. So what was your thinking behind that lineup, and what was your reaction to the match?
You want to come out of the shoot with a bang, right? You want to come out with something that is going to bring people to their feet and have them go like, holy shit, good. Why would I not put Liv Morgan and Io Sky in that spot? They did exactly what they did. From the moment Io walked out, blew the roof off the place. Yeah, there's a roof here. Yeah, makes sense. To Liv, to the match that they put on, it was incredible, the both of them. It's a funny thing that people that aren't in our business would look at spots, and then they make these like incredible claims about like where the positioning should be, and it's this insulting thing. Is like, Brock Lesnar closed the show tonight, Hell in a Cell, with Obafemi. How many times has Brock opened a show? Been the first thing out the chute. Wait, he's saying like, he should be insulted. He wasn't the last. There's one match on the card. This is the last match, right? Like, you put these shows together. It's like a concert. I say it all the time. It doesn't mean we always get it right, but it's like a concert. Like, you want to open with something big. You want to take them on a ride throughout the thing, right? So there's moments where you're putting things in places for a very specific reason. But this narrative of being insulted by placement in, I don't know. I don't see it, and it's this fantasy narrative that fans have made over time, which is wonderful in and of itself. But I don't know that the talent think that way. We put on a show tonight from start to finish, and all of that is ebb and flow of the show. And I put Io and Liv in that spot because I knew they would crush it in that spot. And they did. You can make an argument they stole the night. So the message delivered by them,
Hi, Jamie Iovine with Complex. First off, congrats on a wonderful first night.
Thank you.
It was quite a
It's
show.
good to see you again.
Good to see you again, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So Damian Priest said a few weeks back that he's tired of seeing a lot of the same people in the top spot. It's the same people over and over again. Counterpoint to what he said, I think we all can agree that we've seen a vast flux of this new talent kind of taking the ball and going with it, with Trick Williams, Oba, Carmelo, and Fatal Influence, who night one, as you know, NXT crowds and WWE crowds don't always transcend fully, and they hit it out of the park first night. How secure do you feel with this current generation going forward? Because we are seeing that changing of the guard right now.
Yeah, I get that. If you're the guy that wants to take the spot, it's frustrating when there's guys above you that have the spot, right? Like, and that's the thing. We're in a period of time where there's a lot of top performers in top spots that over time have earned those spots, and over time are selling tickets, and over time are incredibly popular, right? So you really have to do something. The narrative of it's my turn. I've been here for a while. It's my turn. There are no turns in it. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. You earn the spot. Believe me, if somebody is getting over more than somebody else, we've moved that person into the spot, move the other person down. But it's not just that. It's not just they're getting a loud crowd reaction or anything else. Are they going to be good in the spot? Are they going to hold up their end of the bargain? Are they going to screw it up if we give it to them? Are they going to make a mistake that we regret giving them this? Like, there's all those things factored in. The right human being, the right position, all those things factor in. And I love the fact that sometimes talent are like, whoa, it's frustrating or whatever. Like, great. That means work harder. Work harder. Get yourself there. Figure it out. Figure the way. Figure how it gets done. I've seen a million talent succeed because of what they do, not because of storyline, not because of creative, they gave them the spot or whatever, right? It's 99% of the time in this business, the person gets over, then gets the push, right? That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to work. You go do you, then we follow it, right? Because otherwise, most of the time they will choke on it. If it's not what the fans believe in, if it's not what the crowd believes in. Big believer, if you want the spot, go take it. It's all there for everybody to take, right? And whenever anybody says like, well, I don't know why I'm not in that spot. Like, I don't know. Are you more over than Cody? Are you more over than Roman? Are you more over than Punk? Are you more over than Liv, EO, right? Those people that are in that spot. Get there. Start to make those crowd reactions happen. Whatever you need to make it happen, that's what we're all here for to do. So I love that mentality because I think it makes people work harder. And if they're not willing to work to get the spot, then shouldn't have it anyway.
Hi, Hunter. Adam Bernard from the Sports Star and Gimme Sport. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you.
I wanted to just ask quickly about Brie Bella and her status at the end of their match.
Yeah.
6-woman tag match. She was clutching her right shoulder. How is she? Is she injured? Do you have an update on her status?
Yeah, no, she's injured. I don't have an update yet. We've taken her. She was here, got some treatment here, has been taken to the hospital to get some scans done. So don't have a clean answer on it yet. I know hurt her shoulder. Seems pretty bad, but I don't have that answer yet. Hopefully we will soon, and hopefully it won't be as bad as we thought it was, but that's the nature of the game, and we'll pivot accordingly for everything. It's unfortunate. I hate it. It's part of our business, and, I think tonight that was the only serious thing that came out of this, but, talent make things look easy. All of it, and sometimes the most complex things that people go, oh my God, that looks so dangerous, they were going to get hurt. It's not the stuff that hurts you. Sometimes it's just you fall down the wrong way. There's lapse of judgment. There's whatever it is. This is a dangerous business, and it's for the most part, I don't think anybody leaves here unscathed in some manner, and you hate it, and we do everything we possibly can. It's my alarm. It's time for me to take my nighttime pills. I'm at that age. Yeah. It's just a part of what we do, and it's an unfortunate part of what we do. The beautiful thing about what we do is we do everything possible to minimize that risk, but it's still a physical business. So hopefully she'll be good.
That is Paul Triple H Levesque. This is the scene here at the post show outside US Bank Stadium. This crowd has been chanting, "We want Oba, we want Oba." Let's show you again what the ruler did in Hell in a Cell as Brock Lesnar ripped the canvas away, exposed the wood boards, and then delivered a tombstone pile driver. But you know what? It wasn't enough.
On the contrary, Joe, it's almost like the tombstone on the exposed wood woke the ruler up.
Yes.
Obafemi would struggle to his feet and watch this freakish power punching a steel chair right out of the Beast's hands before an epic SummerSlam-sized fall from grace. There's only one ruler.
And that one ruler has made another decision. He said he wanted Brock, and then he said he wants to talk about it right here in front of these fans. So please welcome the ruler, Oba Femi. Great job, man.
Man, oh man.
That's my guy.
Oba, take a seat. Let's discuss what happened tonight. At the beginning of the year, you weren't part of a scene like this. You weren't joining us on post shows at PLEs with tens of thousands behind you celebrating victories. Here we are on August 1st, and you just defeated Brock Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell match, and yet it seems like it just fits for you. And the way you talk about it, we heard you post-match. This is your reality, and you know it. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I feel amazing. This is great.
Jordan Shrug?
All right, all right.
We just heard Paul Triple H Levesque. We saw Brock raise your hand and says, here's the future. We heard Triple H endorse that kind of a statement. What is your reaction to know that publicly, from Brock, in front of these fans, in front of the media, that is what is said of you now?
There are certain people who are just bred for the spotlight. They exist. I am one of those people. I'm not just any other NXT call-up. And Paul knows it. Nick knows it. Every single person in this company, in this industry, in this business knows it. And for once, there's somebody sitting on that pedestal that you don't have to squint your eyes and tilt your head before you can see them as the guy, because I am that guy. I am that man. So anybody who is waiting for me at the end of the line, I'm not hard to find. I'm very hard to beat.
Now, Oba, we've always, from the second we first got our eyes on you in NXT, I think the physical prowess has been obvious. But to me, what has impressed me the most over the last several months is how comfortable you are in that microphone, in that ring week to week, right now. Did you always know that you had all of the tools for WWE, not just the physical tools in the ring?
I've always known, just like I said, I was bred for this. It's almost like they made me in a lab specifically to do this. And it's not just the physical, it's the way I carry myself, it's my aura, it's my whatever, you know, whatever they say these days. But I am that guy. There are some people who say they are the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary, right? Well, you want to drop pipe bombs and all that stuff, but understand one thing. Your bombs don't work when it comes to Oba Femi. You are gifted on this mic, and so am I.
Oba, first time I met you was 3 years ago. You had just gotten signed. You were helping out with the tryouts at IMG. Can you talk about the journey over these 3 years as a guy that the coaches in NXT had pegged as, this guy has a lot of promise, he's going to be someone, to go from that to now main eventing SummerSlam, to getting a reception like this everywhere you go, as not just, hey, here's a young guy who's as one of the biggest names we have right now. All the future talk to me should be out the window because you were the present. Can you talk about what these 3 years in WWE have meant to you?
It's been a lot of pressure. It's been a lot of pressure because when everyone's saying, oh, you are the future, you are the this, you are the that, you are the one, you are the... That kind of pressure breaks men. Sometimes I feel like it's a miracle that I'm even still in this position, you know what I mean? But I'm here. Here I am. You know, pressure makes diamonds. Yeah? And diamonds stay shining.
Well, Oba, as many congratulations, well deserved as they are, as you've already received in the moments since Hell in a Cell. I just want to ask you a favor. I just want you, as the ruler, the new alpha male here in WWE, without dispute after tonight, to take a look at the landscape and what now belongs to you. This is yours. This belongs to Oba Femi.
It does indeed, doesn't it? You love your ruler, don't you?
Wait. Before we let you go, I want to throw one thing out there. Can we put one thing to bed? There's a conversation around Brock Lesnar, I feel, among fans, that they've always felt like Brock is this animal who doesn't love professional wrestling. He just shows up, beats people up, and goes home. And that's a big part of what he's done. What he showed in there with you tonight was his true love of professional wrestling and what he really thinks about you. When you get home tonight and sit and take this whole night in, really, what will that moment mean? That's rarefied air. He didn't just lift your hand. He gave you a hug. He asked for a mic and said, "You're the future." How do you process that?
I mean, we all know Brock is a beast. He presents as a beast. He's a monster. He's been dominant for 25 years. But amongst all that, he might be superhuman, but he is still very much human. He's a human being. He's a man. He's a father. He's an athlete. He has feelings as well. So to Brock, I wish you all the best, man. I really do. Go hunting. Do what you do. Go be a father. Go be a human being. You've earned this. In the ring, in the cage, everything you've done. You're the best. You're one of the greatest minds of professional wrestling. And I hope when all this is said and done, everybody knows that.
Oba, get used to sitting in that seat and holding on to that mic, because I have a feeling you're going to be joining us for a lot of these post shows after Premium Live events for years and years to come. Congratulations to Oba Femi, the victor in Hell in a Cell, defeating Brock Lesnar. Let's show you what you're in store for tomorrow on the ESPN app. The Sunday card for SummerSlam. Of course, the World Heavyweight Championship will come your way. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And a reminder, we will get the day started with coverage live on ESPN with the countdown to SummerSlam day number 2. Now take in the sights and sounds of what was an outstanding Saturday, day 1 at SummerSlam. We'll see you tomorrow.
The epic two-night SummerSlam begins.
This is where stars become highlights.
And Morgantown with a second oblivion retains her title. That is the way to kick off SummerSlam. This is going to be a chaotic brawl. BFP, they've beaten the Bloodline. The ring general looking to end the dreams of Nick Aldis tonight. Nick Aldis has to tap out. JC Jane for the win. What the? The real fellas are back. Punk and Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. Oh my God! Radiant RKO! CM Punk retains the title. We're now set for our main event, the Hell in a Cell.
Just two juggernauts colliding.
And the steps bounced off Femi.
What the hell is going on?
Lesnar ripping the canvas apart. Tombstone, Oba kicked out. Oba Femi slays the beast.
Congratulations. This is the future, ladies and gentlemen. This is the past. This is the future.